Brian, $1 million question. If you answer this correctly, your team gets a free Premier League title. Name an animal that can survive with its head chopped off.
Hey, yo, welcome back to the High Kicks podcast. Finger guns for Carl because he is not here this week. Chad, the answer to your question would be a cockerel or a young rooster because that is what happened to Tottenham Hotspur today after their shit end to the Premier League season. I never thought I would get to say this on an episode of our podcast. Tottenham Hotspur have won a major trophy.
We are truly in the wokest timeline.
I genuinely can't believe it. If anybody is just listening and not watching on YouTube, Chad is currently wearing a birthday hat. He is ecstatic. He went 2 for 2 on hate watches today because Manchester United lost and the New York Knicks lost.
The Knicks blew a 14-point lead in 2 minutes.
But I honestly, like, I know I just said it, but I never thought that I would see the day that Tottenham Hotspur won a trophy. Like, genuinely.
I had false hope as like a joke. And I just thought like, nah, this team, like maybe like Pedro Porro. I saw the vision where I'm like, okay, they've got their right back. They've got like some guys, Madison, Kulusevski. Neither one of them played today. And I'm like, you know what? United's probably gonna win like 4-2, just because like, what does Tottenham have? Tottenham had a single shot on target, and United did nothing. So
This was, I mean, United had 73% possession, 16 shots, 4 big chances. Vicario played a great game with some unbelievable saves. That save that he made basically like on the last play of the game was outrageous. Mickey Van de Ven's goal line clearance was unreal. Like, I have not seen a goal line clearance like that since John Stones cleared the ball off the line against Liverpool to basically secure the title for City, whatever year that was. But just, I can't believe we live in a timeline where Tottenham Hotspur won a trophy.
I hope while I'm dying and like my memories are flashing before my eyes, in my final moments, I get to see Aaron Neesmith at the end of game one in that Halliburton game tying shot and that Van de Ven goal line clearance as some of the things I see before I eventually move on to the next portion of our existence.
I mean, I don't really even need to break down the game. It wasn't that exciting of a match, like from start to finish.
Nope.
It was honestly pretty boring.
This shit sucked.
The goal was utter shite, but Spurs got it done. And I don't know. My favorite part about it was that I'm sure you're in this same boat with what I'm about to say, but when Ange Postecoglou said in August, I usually win things in my second season. And then he got shit for it and he doubled down and he was like, not usually. I always win things in my second season. We laughed at him. I laughed at him. We were like, dude, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. This is Tottenham Hotspur we're talking about.
He says that while drawing to a Leicester team that would eventually get relegated and also giving a Leicester City team like in 2025, like their only win in like 15 matches.
And yet,
and yet, in the most Tottenham Hotspur way possible, they won a trophy.
that goal was
So funny.
so funny.
It took everyone like watching while we were watching this live, like a solid like 4 seconds to realize, like, oh, the ball went in the net.
So I don't think Brennan Johnson got a touch on it. Like, I know he was credited with the goal. It looks really close on the replay if he got a toe on it. I personally would have loved it to have been credited as a Luke Shaw own goal. But it is what it is. And I know I said finger guns for Carl because he's not here. Carl bitched out tonight because he didn't want us to roast him. No, not really. Carl just moved into his house that he's living in on Cape Cod for the summer, and he just couldn't get everything set up in time, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. But oh my god. Oh my god. I do have one specific quote that I would like to read from a Manchester United fan.
Go for it.
This is from one of our friends in the Trailer Park Sports Network Discord server. His name is Marcus. He goes by Grizz. At 5:09 p.m. on May 21st, 2025, Grizz said, "I'm over it. I'm Jim Ratcliffe's biggest hater right now. I'm so glad I don't have to watch this team play for 3 months. I was actually genuinely considering going to the exhibition game at MetLife in July, and now I don't even want to watch it on TV."
That's real. That's real.
My favorite part about the match was in about the 82nd minute while streaming the match, or while we were watching Matt's stream in TPSN. I opened up OBS. I made myself a graphic to use in a video. And then I made the graphic for the proper size to be posted on Instagram. And then before the game was even over, I sent said graphic to our friend Val, who runs the High Kick Sports Instagram page. Val is a Manchester United fan.
That's crazy.
It uh, it was great. And then I didn't even text Carl and say who won. I just sent him the graphic, and he told me to go fuck myself.
I mean, justified. But I mean, goddamn. I think Spurs winning is so much better for the sport. I am so sick of seeing teams like Manchester United. I know Spurs also did the same, and you could say that it's kind of like pot and kettle, but Manchester United have spent, unironically, probably $1 billion to suck,
Yep.
and they have been bailed out year after year after year by winning something, getting some sort of European qualification. So that way they can keep the revenue going and they can keep bringing in at least some convincing players. That final 10 minutes where we watched like a United team, like outside of the Van de Ven goal line clearance, and even then, there was such an like unconvincing, like a chance created by United. And I know the Vicario save is like the big moment. Watching Manchester United roll over and die in the final like 10, 15 minutes of that match will be something I will tell my children about.
I can't wait to tell people that I watched Spurs win a trophy live. Like I was giving, I mean, I'm sure you were too. Like we talk to people on Discord almost every night watching sports now. I have been preemptively giving Matt shit for what could potentially happen in this game, thinking full well that I was just fucking with him and that I actually didn't really think Spurs were going to win this match. I thought it was going to be a similar scoreline. Like you thought it was going to be 4-2. I was more expecting like a 2-0, 3-1. But hearing the disappointment in his voice when he was like, I have to leave for work in 6 minutes. I'm shutting off this stream the second the final whistle blows.
Oh my god. And then literally final whistle ends the stream.
Literally, immediately.
For the first whistle gets blown, we see Tottenham players running like one step stream ends. Brian
Yep.
then immediately jumps off and records his video, and then I immediately jump off and record behind because
Which, if
we have
anybody
jobs to
is
plug.
wondering, um, I'm pretty sure Chad's video has more likes than mine has views.
Sorry,
But
Brian.
It is what it is. But I mean, not even it is what it is. It's not surprising. I mean, look at your following versus mine, and your history of making videos versus mine. But I don't know. It was great, and right after the match, I texted my junior year of college roommate, who I don't think I've communicated with in 3 years based on our texts. He he is a Spurs fan, and he was at a bar and he sent me a video of everybody just going absolutely insane. And I just felt the need to text him because I was with him in our house moving some stuff in before, like the year before I moved in, when Spurs came back against Ajax, and he was ecstatic then. I just needed to know how he felt. And then I texted my current roommate, who is also a Spurs supporter, and his response was, "Oh my God, that's crazy. That also explains why I just saw a bunch of people walking outside in New York City in Sun jerseys. They're no longer afraid to get booed." It
It's a new day, a new a new beginning.
I mean, this year has been phenomenal for ending trophy droughts. I mean, you look at Tottenham Hotspur. Crystal Palace just beat Manchester City in the FA
Yep,
Cup final this weekend, and we'll get into
yep.
that more in a second. Newcastle United ended their long trophy drought. To slide over to Italy, Bologna ended their 50 plus year trophy drought. The only thing that we need to happen to make this the perfect trophy drought ending season is PSG beating Inter in the Champions League final. Chad just hit me with a blank stare. He did
Don't
not know
let
where
me
I was
take.
going with that.
Don't let me take this party hat off, motherfucker.
I mean, come on. Tell me that wouldn't be poetic.
I mean, Inter has a. It's been a couple of years.
They won a treble like 15 years ago. They
I
won the
mean, that's
Scudetto like within the last 3 years. Didn't they win it last year?
PSG wins their league every year, man.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't really count.
I mean, you're kind of like you're going apples to oranges here, but I mean, hey, I mean, either way, this is like the best like outcome for a year full of hate watches. Like so many successful hate watches. I am thriving off of hatred alone.
I'm genuinely upset that Carl wasn't able to be here tonight because, like, I don't know. I think genuinely the first, like, 12 and a half minutes of this show have been pretty tame. But if Carl were here, it would be much more vulgar, and he would have left the Zoom call already by now.
I would have made that motherfucker leave by minute 15.
It just, I genuinely can't believe it happened.
And like we'll talk. I guess we'll talk about the game a little bit more. But it's just in such a pathetic manner. I mean, and here's the thing, right? Amarim has quite literally been given the shortest possible straw. Like United literally say, "All right, you have to join the team, or we're gonna hire somebody else," and he has to leave his team halfway through the year. And then this is the mess of the squad that comes up. And then obviously, I think it's more or less his fault what happened in that final 15-ish minutes. Such passive play with, and I understand that like Bruno had a really borderline disaster class game, but he was at least creating. Hoyland disappeared. Mason Mount was Mason Mount. Amad Diallo probably had his worst game of the year. Your like best player was probably like Harry Maguire. And I think it's peak, absolute peak. that the way this team finally collapses and goes to like Everton status is by watching Harry Maguire play central forward.
So, one, Rasmus Højlund did not disappear. He never showed up. Like, he never showed up.
I was trying to be at least a little kind to the guy, but you know what? Yeah.
I also, so I'm looking at FootMob right now, and you know how you can vote like on FootMob for who you think is going to win a match before it
Oh,
starts? So 56% of people voted for Manchester United. 36% of people voted for Spurs. And I'm confused how 8% of people voted for a draw in a final.
I'm gonna go to Pens.
It
I
doesn't
still
let you
think
vote for that though. Like somebody has to win. It doesn't say the result after 90 minutes. You're picking somebody to win a damn match.
does this say that I voted? Please let me say I want to flex that I know ball, which is really funny because my official prediction was different. But I'm like rooting football. I'm like, you know what? Let's be funny.
It just it doesn't feel real to be talking about Spurs winning a trophy.
I think it's good. I think I like being happy for other people.
I like being happy for
They,
other people too, but I also like when Manchester United lose.
I mean, yeah, I'm just talking about Spurs. Like those, they genuinely did not know how to celebrate.
No, they didn't. They like
They were
usually
dead silence for like 20 seconds, like actually, like in the like final, like closing moments of that game, and every Spurs fan was like, "So what do we do now?"
did you see the banner that Madison and I forgot who else grabbed from fans out of the stands? It was a photoshopped picture of Ange with sunglasses on with the
Yes,
quote, "I always win something in my second
yes,
season."
yes, yes.
And
I
also, truly, we haven't touched on this yet. Ange Postecoglou was coaching for his job in this match. A loss here, and he's gone. He's 100%
I
gone.
losing the coach that lost his match is getting fired, and Amorim
I
probably
I
lost
don't
his
I don't
job.
think United gets rid of Amorim.
Mm. Mm.
I know Amorim came out and said I won't ask for compensation if Manchester United board wants me gone, but to fire him when he came in with a totally different footballing system than what they were playing before, when he didn't have the players that he wanted to fit his system and wasn't able to make a full squad rebuild in January. It will show the ineptitude of the ownership of Manchester United if they sack him before they even give him a summer window. I firmly believe, honestly, any manager that's going to turn Manchester United around needs at least 2 seasons. You need at least 2 summer windows to properly turn this squad around, to properly build the right system. And I don't think they're going to give it to him. If he doesn't succeed by December of next season, he's gone.
Brian, I'm gonna tell you this. I
What?
would not be sober if I took a shot for every single video I've seen on my For You page, literally saying we do not want this guy in the summer. I'm pretty sure the entire United fan base has turned on Amorim.
I mean, that's just stupid.
I
Genuinely, it's just stupid. They were playing four at the back. Amorim comes in, and then you go to three center backs. They don't have the squad to play his proper system. And to turn on a manager before he's even had the opportunity to bring in players to fit his system. And I mean, I know they lost this final, but they were unbeaten in the Europa League until this match. And Premier League finish aside, I am honestly going to give both of these teams a slight pass, not a full pass, because for what I'm about to say, I think finishing like 12th and 13th would have been more appropriate. But both of these sides And both of these managers very clearly gave up on the Premier League a very long time ago to focus on winning this trophy because they knew that this was the only trophy and the only way that they could salvage their season. So, I mean, Amorim even came out and said in what, late March, mid April, that like we're going to be messing around with lineups in the Premier League and really only focusing on Europa.
which I get. I guess the question is, I mean, here's the thing. United quite literally have one season or they're fucked.
Yes.
Like, like we're like, you're not winning the Prem next year.
No.
Your hope is you are bullshitting an FA Cup and or like a top 7 spot
Mhm.
because, and the thing is that Amarim has clearly a very specific system.
Yes.
More or less, the argument is he's just there's just not going to be enough time. There's not going to be enough players, and with a system like Amarim, you need like a good 60% hit rate on players.
Yep.
United is like
So I will tell you this.
United is like sub 25 with like good big name signings.
I will tell you this. They are, one would hope that they're going to have a striker that can finish next season. I am going to assume that Cheeto Obi Martin is ready. I don't. Is Cunha a striker?
No, I don't.
Okay.
God, I you're gonna hear that a lot.
We are going
You're
to hear
gonna
that a lot.
you're gonna he's about to get Jadon Sancho.
Okay. But I personally think Cheeto is ready. I don't think he's ready to be an elite guy, but I think he's ready to contribute more than fucking Rasmus Hoyland has. And so I think that's going to be a big help. I think if Mason Mount can stay healthy, he is a perfect player for an Amorim system. I mean, they need to find somebody that can come in and not necessarily fill the void, but play the role that Casemiro played because like he's got to go. I mean,
I mean, the thing is, you're hoping for like a Saudi Arabian bailout with Casemiro. It's just he is making. Hold on, I literally had tab open Casemiro salary, and I will look it up again. But it is a shit ton of money,
what is he on?
and
Like 350 a week?
yeah, 350K a week.
Yeah. So like,
Like, guy, there's who I and for his age, you're only getting him to like you're selling him to China or the Middle East at that point. I don't think,
yeah,
or you're like loaning him and taking like 60% of that contract.
yeah. I mean, he's got to go. I I think for the most part, the football has left him, at least at this level. And I mean, I know he came up very clutch at moments in the Europa League, but he's not going to be able to do that next year with another year under his belt and another year under his legs. I think you got to cash in and sell him to Saudi if he'll go there.
It's kind of, I mean, that's kind of it. The thing is that he seems, I don't know, maybe you get like lucky and like a Brazilian team wants him and like a Brazilian or like some, like you said, Saudi Arabia. I am just, I just don't see. The thing is also, he's still trying to get Brazilian national team minutes. Like he's
Why?
still
He
like
shouldn't be.
he's played. Yeah, right. He's played like 4 games for him this year.
I know, but
He's
he
in the
just
lineup.
shouldn't.
He's in the. I mean, no, that's just to say the Brazilian national team. That's a whole other conversation. But
We could do a whole episode on that.
like he is. He can make the argument that like, hey man, I've played 40 games for a decade and show no signs of slowing down. Slowing down, of course, but he can still be like, I That's gonna be he's gonna genuinely be the toughest thing to offload.
Yep.
I just don't see like unless United bite a genuine bullet here.
I mean, I think United has to hope, and United fans have to hope that Kabi Manu can return to his pre-Euro form next season. I think you have to hope that Lenny Yoro takes that generational talent jump that we're all expecting him to take at some point, because he's an exceptional player. I think
Yeah.
you have to hope
Oh, you
that again that Mount stays healthy. I think you have to hope that Cheeto is ready to be a starting striker in the Premier League. You have to hope that Cunha works out, because 63 million pounds is an outrageous amount of money to spend on a player when you don't have any semblance of European football. I
shout out ESPN by the way for using the US dollar when initially reporting it.
so
Just 20 million more.
but I understand why ESPN does
Oh,
that.
I know. It's just really funny that like everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, 60 million," and then I read. Here's the thing: they didn't put the I when I read that shit on my phone, they didn't put the dollar amount. They just said, "Oh, they bought him for 80 million," and I'm like,
No,
that's why I freaked the fuck out in the group
yeah,
chat because I read 80 million. They didn't put the dollar sign, and I'm like, holy shit.
yeah.
But hey, I mean, it's as much as I want it to be over for United. You have pieces, you have guys that can fill in. Like you have something. Like like you have Xerxes, you have Garnacho, you have Mino, you have Aiden Heaven, you have Amos, right? Um Ugarte, um Collier. Like you have good young talent. Like you have
Yeah.
guys that like you, that's a really good Premier League bench. Like you get yourself sorted out. Like
I mean, the problem with that is I think a fair amount of those guys are going to have to start next season.
that's it. That's not your bench. Now those are guys that are going to have to play or start at least 20 games minimum.
Yeah.
You have the benefit of less games.
So that's
Just
another thing. Like I saw a United fan say the only potential silver lining of this is that there are going to be no midweek games next year. So training is going to be fully 100% focused on learning Amorim's system. Because I don't think they genuinely had time to learn the system and to adapt to the system for these matches that they were playing, because they had midweek games and they had weekend games, and yeah.
that's like the one thing is United can focus on Europe. But again, it is you have to get a European spot or you are
Dead.
unconditionally fucked. I've seen so much copium where they're like, well, the buying power of the Premier League and this and that. Financial fair play. This is about to bite Chelsea in the ass if they don't fucking win the Conference League. Financial fair play is catching up with these fuckers,
Yep.
right? Like it's fucking. It might not come to City. I think it'd be even funnier if United get hit with some FFP nonsense before City does. I think that'd be the funniest fucking thing imaginable. But shout out Tottenham, man. Shout out Son. Shout out Son for winning something. Seeing him lift that fucking trophy, that shit was cool.
It made me
That shit
so
was ball.
happy.
That shit was baller.
I mean, I know there's that saying in football that everything is earned and nothing is deserved. But Son deserved to retire with a trophy. And he did. He will. Well, he hasn't retired yet, but he
That's
will.
like, and that's a genuine ride or die. Like
Yes.
we shit on Tottenham. That's a ride or die fan base.
Yes.
That is a group of people that choose to torment themselves.
Yes.
Or they
Yes.
were just really big fans of Tim Duncan and just thought it'd be really funny to pick the team with the same name and didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
That is also true. But then they learned what they got themselves into and they stuck around.
And they stuck around.
Yes.
I thought seeing all those videos of like them celebrating. I've seen like I'm literally watching them like right now, like really cool.
I it, so here's the thing. The biggest difference between United winning this versus Spurs winning this is United fans would not have been as happy. They would not have celebrated as much because to United, it's the Europa League. It's it's not the premier competition. They would have celebrated Champions League football. They would have celebrated salvaging their season. But I don't think they would have celebrated winning the Europa League the same way that Tottenham Hotspur is. This meant more to Tottenham, and it showed on the pitch, and it showed in when when they showed the supporters in the stands. Like this just meant more to Tottenham, and I am so happy that they won. I'm not a Spurs fan, as everybody who listens knows, or anybody who's seen my content or my videos knows. I am a Liverpool supporter. I have been since I was about 8 or 9 years old, which is going on almost 20 years at this point. I mean, I'm 26, so like 18 years, but 20 just sounds a little bit better. But I'm happy for Spurs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they get Wembenyama.
Have you seen videos of him playing footy?
I can't wait for the NBA. I can't wait for Adam Silver and him, like as he ruins the league. He's like, great news. We will be having multi-sport transfers, which means we will be loaning out Wembenyama to the Tottenham Hotspur organization. Shout out James Madison.
I mean, yeah.
You
Yeah.
missed that penalty against Everton, but you know, man,
Yeah.
you got your trophy.
Yeah. So I want to slide. I mean, we could talk about this forever. We're like a half hour into the show. I wanted this to be a quick
I think it's a
episode.
good time to spot to
It's
stop.
not going to be a quick episode, but I want to slide us into just a slight little recap of the Premier League weekend. Um, Actually, you want to do the FA Cup first?
Oh, would I?
Cool. FA Cup time. So
And this is
Manchester United and Manchester City both lost finals in the same week, and as a Liverpool fan, I could not be happier.
two like perennially just like 12th place teams, you know.
Although, although
Oh, brother, we're gonna get this.
Dean Henderson should have been sent off 100%.
Oh,
A
yeah,
100%.
yeah, that's great. Half the players shouldn't even be on the city side of the pitch right now.
No, yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I'm all for a missed call happening against Manchester City. But
That was
let's be
so bad.
but let's be real, that was so bad. That was so bad. And I mean, the reasoning for why he wasn't sent off was bullshit because they were like, well, after he contacted the ball, it was out of harm's way. Like, I'm sorry, if he doesn't touch that ball, Erling Haaland's next touch puts the ball in the net.
Oh man, know the year they're having.
But Crystal Palace won a trophy
Crystal Palace won a trophy.
for the first time ever. Eze with the goal.
We really took Odson Edward on loan just to rob him of a medal.
Did you see Rebecca Lowe?
No, oh yeah.
Yep. So they asked her pre-match, where would this rank in the best days of your life if Crystal Palace win this trophy? And she said, number one is the birth of my child. Number two is my wedding day. And this is number three if it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really happy for them. I also I love the recent trend of taking the Waka Waka song and turning it into chants? Because first it was Spurs, Saminamina, Waka Waka, 17th, we don't know how, we're going to Bilbao. And then Dean Henderson took that and just made it so much better. With Saminamina, Waka Waka, 12th again, who gives a fuck? We won the FA Cup. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah,
And the
creative.
fact that it was him who sang it. Because again,
Yeah,
he should have been sent off.
fun team,
Fun team.
fun team.
The interesting thing is now, do you think Eze's gone? Do you think some of their other top players are gone? Or do you think they're going to try and stay and go after the
I mean,
Europa League?
they luckily have, like, with Europa League, they have, like, hey, you can stay if you want. I think someone might potentially, I'm not going to say Eze is bad. I just think someone might throw like 70 million at him.
Yeah,
And they're gonna be like, okay, we can't pass this up.
exactly. I agree with that.
But like, you're not accepting anything more than 50. And I think he's more than willing to stay at Crystal Palace.
I think so too.
You know who isn't going to be at his respective club next year?
Mustafa.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Dude. So that match between, I'm going to move us into the Premier League here. That match between Man City and Bournemouth featured both the miss of the season, where Kevin De Bruyne hit the bar from literally 3 yards out, which I understand he got a difficult bounce to deal with, but like, how do you hit the bar from 3 yards out? And then the absolute goal of the season. What was that head nod?
I don't know, man. Justin's at Arsenal. You'd be disrespecting that one.
Dude. Dude.
He got the Magna ball. Good for him.
Omar Mamouche hit that ball from like 30 yards out with like 8+ yards of dip. Ball was moving probably over 50 miles an hour, dipping and bending into the top corner, post and in.
I don't know.
Like, I'm
It
not going to
was,
lie. I think the only better shot I've seen this season is Declan Rice's second free kick against Real Madrid.
let's see. It can't be that good. I've seen it, but I need reminding.
Dude.
Let's see. A secondary live Crush Shots Boys
All right,
reaction.
while Chad is watching this, I opened the TikTok
Eh, I
chat.
hit that in FIFA all the time.
No, you don't. So
Yes, I do.
I saw a comment on the video on TikTok from some kid who was just like, "How's the keeper gone and let that in?"
I
And
agree.
initially, I was like, "There's no way. This kid is definitely rage baiting." And he continued to argue with people in the comments. He was like, "It's a Premier League goalkeeper. That shot is from 30 yards out. He had so much time to react." And people were like, "How about you save it?" And he's like, "I'm a goalkeeper and I would have saved that." So I am a goalkeeper, as anybody who listens knows. The only goalkeeper that is saving that is like prime Buffon, Thibaut Courtois against Liverpool in the Champions League final.
This guy.
I know a fucking
This
banger.
guy.
I know an
This guy.
unsavable
This
banger
guy.
when I see one.
You do not have the right to say I'm a goalkeeper after the score of your game today, buddy.
What? We got Braziled. I got scored on 7 times from
Yeah,
inside the box.
yeah.
I got scored on 7 times from inside the box. It would have been like probably 12 or 13 had I not been there.
Bro, if they were giving you free cannolis, you probably would have saved one.
I don't really like cannolis.
All right. You know what?
But if they were giving me free peanut butter cookies, I would have saved more.
That's like the perfect like transition to an advertisement, and we're just not there yet.
We're just not there yet.
So if any food companies want to like give myself an early grave and type 3, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
But you know who is going to an early grave?
Ooh.
Leicester City.
So I know it was announced in advance that this was going to be Vardy's last game, that he wasn't going to play in the final match of the season. I think it's fitting that 13 years to the day of his signing, he scores his 200th goal for the club on his, or sorry, yeah, his 200th goal for the club on what number appearance was it?
500.
On his 500th appearance for the club in a 2-0 win. So I know, and this is something that you have talked about on social media, but I know that retiring numbers is not really a thing in European footy. Nobody should ever wear the number 9 for Leicester City ever again.
Like it, or save it for like the most insane. Like you have to ask Barty, be like, can this guy wear 9? And he's like, yeah. Like he should get say on who wears number 9.
Yes.
If I'll be willing to make that as a middle ground.
I mean, so that, by the way, that is
But
how retiring numbers works.
but like I personally don't even think anyone should touch it ever again. Like
It,
I don't.
and I know you got shit for it in that video that you posted about
Not
it.
even. This is so funny. I literally say like 2 months ago, I'm like, oh, this might be more of an American take, and all the comments are like, oh, it's not that American to think like that. It's like he's that good for that team, and then I make the video again, and they're like, you're such a stupid fucking American. The internet is so funny.
I just, there have been players who have meant a lot to the clubs that they have played for. And this is going to sound insane coming out of my mouth, but Lionel Messi meant a lot to Barcelona. Vardy meant more to City, or to Leicester City.
Fair enough.
Like, in the sense of, I don't think there'll ever be another Messi, but Barcelona will continue to have world-class players,
Yeah.
will continue to have Ballon d'Or winners in the future. Leicester City may not ever have a player win a Golden Boot.
I mean, yeah, he's genuinely one of one. The past decade, watching him has been a blast. More or less, he's like dictated the way I've wanted the game to be played in like such a direct manner, where it's like, you let your fucking guy ball out. You don't do this fucking short pass bullshit. You fucking direct pass, get your guy in space, and one time, maybe two dribbles. I mean, I'm sorry, like some of the shots he's genuinely hit, like that Liverpool goal, might have been West Brom. I'm trying to think of it. It was like over the shoulder from Mahrez, and like it was a volley. Ball didn't even hit the ground until he hit it. I think it was West Brom, but it's like he's genuinely like one of one. So whenever I hear someone like, oh, they don't, it's a number 1 through 11, 9 shouldn't be retired. He is uno of uno. There will never be another Jamie Vardy in terms of story, like where he came from, price, £1 million. Um, the way that he played, I personally think like he is a dying breed of striker, and his ability, the way that he played the game at such a high level, at least at Leicester City, will probably never be replicated.
He's the definition of a club legend. And so I think Leicester City should do 3 things for Jamie Vardy. Retire the number 9. Call it an American take, but retire the number 9. I don't know. Is there like fan, like supporters area? Does it have a name? Like,
Stand.
yeah.
That probably be in. No, not really. They just call it like the Cobb. I'm pretty sure, or some shit like that, like the
So
King
call it
Power
the
stand.
Jamie Vardy stand
Yeah, exactly.
or the Vardy stand
Yep.
and erect multiple statues. Not just one.
Oh yeah, multiple.
Like one of them, he's got to be chugging a Red Bull.
Yep.
One of them, honestly, his final goal celebration where he picked up the
Yep.
corner flag.
Yep. And then it's 11-7 as like the last one, the third one.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you could have a statue of him holding the Premier League trophy.
You know what? Let's make it 11. 11 nine statues out there for number nine.
It just, I don't know if I've ever seen a player. I mean, look, I started being a Liverpool fan, like I said before, when I was like 8. I phased out of the game a little bit when I was in middle school and high school, and I really jumped back into it in college. I have never seen one singular player mean so much to a club than I have with Jamie Vardy and Leicester City.
And now a moment of silence.
All right, that long pause isn't going to be good for anybody listening, but
It is for me.
I know. I've also seen like, oh, like Jamie Vardy should go to Wrexham, this and that. Jamie Vardy is not going to go to a club where he could play against Leicester City.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You don't know Jamie Vardy. I think he'd totally be the type of dude be like, huh, that'd be really funny.
I mean, yeah, he's the king of shithousery, and that
And
would
then
be the ultimate
he
shithouse
would
move.
shithouse us, bro, and none of us would be mad.
Well, I think if he scored against Leicester City and shithoused the celebration, Leicester City fans, like, you wouldn't be able to flip him off.
Yeah,
You would laugh and
no.
you'd applaud it and
Yeah,
you'd be happy for him.
exactly.
But yeah, yeah.
All of those like soccer clickbait videos, like on YouTube, would get
Mhm.
like another cursed thumbnail.
Yeah.
It'd be Jamie Vardy like celebrating and like Leicester City is like times that fans attack their own player.
Yep. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here, because we're nearing the 50-minute to an hour mark. Sunday is going to be a shit show. Is it Sunday or is it Saturday? I just said Sunday. I wasn't really looking at the day.
This weekend is going to be a shit show because Friday decides Italy. Um,
Friday does decide Italy.
um, then Saturday decides La Liga. Um, or is that already confirmed? Do they play 38 games or do they play one more game? Hold on.
La Liga 38.
Oh yeah, no, that one. They already won the league. Good for them.
But
Um, but
honestly,
yeah, it's Sunday.
so basically, Newcastle need a point, and they're in. No,
Man City can go from third to sixth.
Man City can go from third to sixth. Nottingham Forest and Chelsea is basically uh, it might be a match for a Champions League spot. I mean, it is a match for a Champions League spot. The winner of that match,
Is getting a Champions League spot regardless, I believe. Right, 68. They fall. Depends on Villa.
it depends on Villa. I think Villa beat United though.
Oh, dude, Villa's like 7-0 United.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking at Arsenal and Liverpool are fine. City's form has been questionable. I think they'll be okay against Fulham. Newcastle should beat Everton.
They say about everyone, man.
It would be so funny if Villa win and Chelsea lose, and then Chelsea lose the Conference League final and have to play in the Conference League
Oh
again.
my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. They'd actually be cooked like PSR wise. I don't think would actually survive. But the fraudulent system.
It is. I don't think the points deductions for PSR are big enough, considering that like you can get a deduction and still be totally fine.
You could sell your own women's team to yourself and zero consequences.
That's insane. But I'm excited. Look, am I going to be awake to watch any of these matches Sunday morning? I'm going to go with probably not. I'm going to be out at with my friends, like at a bar at the Jersey Shore. I'll do my best to be awake, but we'll see. I just I don't know. To see Chelsea fall would make me so happy. It would be wild to see, like, I don't know, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Newcastle, and Forest be the Champions League clubs.
Oh yeah.
Although,
Power of silliness must prevail.
I will say, for Forest's continued development in pushing for like becoming a higher tiered club, I actually don't think Champions League is their best outcome.
Yeah, you could say that.
I would say they don't have the squad depth, and they're probably going to lose players after this season to compete in the Champions League next season. I think Europa League and honestly even Conference League is more fitting for them. We're also looking at a situation where if Chelsea win the Conference League, eighth place in the Premier League gets a Conference League spot. So I don't know. Sunday's going to be fun. It's going to be really exciting to watch. Hopefully, I'm mentally functioning enough after a fun night out to be able to pay attention.
Brentford in the Conference League.
I mean, Brighton would have to lose to Spurs.
Fair point.
And I don't know. Like, you know. But we are going to get out of here. Chad was poking his hand at the screen to trying to get me to play the outro. I can't believe Spurs won a trophy. It's been a crazy year for trophy droughts ending. Hopefully, we have Carl back next week, but we will catch you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.
God bless Aaron Neesmith.